Namaste friends, welcome to Yoga Bliss with Shelly, and I'm Shelly. This video is just an about this channel video. So I started this channel 3 years ago as a means of a necessity because I have 3 small children and a daughter with autism and severe learning disabilities, and now I'm doing remote learning with my kids, and with everything that's happening in the world, that having a home practice is essential for me to get up and do life. So I started making these videos 3 years ago, and it has just grown from there. I just record videos. I do practices that I feel called, that I feel like will be what I need in my life for the healing in my life, and I know that everything is like a spider web and it goes out. So I really encourage you to come onto the mats with an open heart and an open mind. And one thing I know that really hindered me a lot of years from even starting yoga, when I started 7-8 years ago, when I started practicing yoga on my own, was judgment. And I always had this perception that I wasn't flexible enough, or I wasn't graceful enough to be a yoga or a yogi, right? And I love yoga so much. There also is this like super seriousness around yoga. So if you join me in my classes and my practices on this channel, you will find that I am just more lighthearted. I'm just me, and I'm showing up as me. And I try not to take it so serious, because I truly believe that it's a practice. It is not perfect, and yoga is definitely not a one-size-fits-all. And knowing that wherever you are in your body, in your mind, in your spiritual growth, or physical fitness, or emotional mental health is where you are. And yoga is just, for me, it's this segue to aid along the journey. And I know I have lots of practices where I come, or I'll sit down on my meditation cushion, and everything is pouring and raining down. And I'm sure that you can resonate, because we're all just people. And I believe, for me, that yoga just helps me work through that. And yeah, I just really encourage you to just come into a home practice just as you are. And I know a lot of times the mind, it tells us what we need to be doing and all of the things, and just trusting yourself. And I learned 3 years ago in my yoga teacher training that this, even when you're on the mat in a class, it's just a journey as the instructor. So whether it's me or a different teacher, or you're tuning into a different channel, or you're doing something else, that we are here as your guides. We're not here as like the yoga guru know-all, right? Because I've had many practices where my wrist will just give out, and there's no way I can get my butt into a downward facing dog. So knowing that, show up as you are. And I believe that really good yoga teachers, everyone is a good yoga teacher. I just really believe that there's a modification for everything. So if something is not feeling right for you, and if I haven't offered the right variation for you, intuitively let your body do what works for you. You might find this guy, this is Joy. He actually is creeping up on turning 3, even though he looks like a grumpy old man. He's a Chihuahua Terrier that we rescued. He had 2 brothers, and they were named after the DuckTales, Huey, Louie, and Dewey, and his name was Louie. And we adopted him right before Christmas time, and we named him Joy, for vibrantly alive peace, because joy is a word, right, that I would rather say than my husband wanted to name him Killer, and I didn't want to say that like a million times. And I actually just got done listening to this awesome book, The Book of Joy, with the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu. And joy is something that if we can bring into our lives more, we can live such a better and a lighter life. And things like smiling, or making light of a situation, or cracking jokes that are not in a malicious way, right? That we can bring more joy into our lives. And that's what this guy represents for me. And I am a mama of 3. I have right now a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 6-year-old. And I'm always home with the kids because the world is very different right now, and we are doing remote learning, and I have to get my butt on the mat to help my kids, to help my daughter who has dyslexia, and she has a writing disability, and she struggles with a math disability, and she has just different things about her. She's this unique creature, and I have also some very manly, boyish boys who are also really sweet and compassionate, and they're very competitive, and they keep me on my toes, and they press my every button. And I'm really big into affirmations and healing the mind, because in our society, I'm from America, I live in Colorado near the Rocky Mountain National Park, and people are always so geared up on our physical health and what our bodies look like and our all around external appearance. I really feel like there's this huge sickness in our culture of the mind and our self-talk and how we treat ourselves. There's this, it's almost like a plague of the nation, and I can see it from people to people. You can see it everywhere. And I'm huge on healing the mind, right? And a lot of people go to psychotherapists or psychologists, and yes, and counselors, and I think that is awesome, and in doing your work and creating a healthier mental space. And yoga is not supplementation for that. For me, yoga is just allowing me to work through all of the diseases of the mind, and I use affirmations, which are positive words that I choose to say and I choose to think. Because just notice, right? If you notice the self-talk when you get in the mirror and you're looking at yourself, what are the words that are coming up? What are the feelings that are arising? And I really believe that with the practices of self-care, with yoga and mindfulness and eating healthy and treating our bodies healthy and having good relationships, that we can help heal that. And I really believe that healing is a journey. It's not just like something that it's like, I'm going to take this yoga class and it's going to heal me. There's things called cures for diseases, right? And then there's like healing. Cures are like there's a cure or a medicine or an antidote. So you get bit by a snake or a spider and there's an antidote. That's going to be the cure for that. Healing is done in all of the different aspects of our life. And healing is it's a journey. It's a journey towards healing the mind and the body and the soul. So I really welcome you into a home practice, whether you've had one or not, or you are a complete beginner, to just know that yoga and mindfulness and meditation can be a part of that journey if you are open to it. So I welcome you, and you may see my kiddos off and on. They're on this channel. Also, there's an eclectic array of videos, and it kind of sporadically changes. There's practices from 10 to 20 minute practices, from 20 to 30 minutes classes to 40 to 45 minute classes. I also love seasonal classes. I love teaching workshops. I love like in-person workshops. I've taught autumn equinox, intention setting, spring yoga classes, which I love. Those are super fun. And I just encourage you to go through this channel and just check out if there's a class that doesn't vibe with you. Flip through it and find another class. There's so much out there. And I also did last year when we were in quarantine, I did some kids videos for my kids classes, and I shared those on here. And yeah, there's so much content on this channel, and I please encourage you to just check it out, check out a class, and see, just show up and just be a part of the journey. I send you so much love, and I'm so grateful for you tuning into this channel, and I just send you a warm hug, and together I just welcome you to Yoga Bliss.